Do you ever wonder why there are so many casualties and injuries recorded in combat? According to the National Center for Biotechnology Information, from 2005 to 2009 alone, out of the 1.9 million soldiers that were sent to Iraq and Afghanistan, there were casualties record of over 26,000 that resulted from injuries that were explosive-borne injuries. And most of these injuries could have been prevented or could have been averted or reduced if we had a lot of knowledge in how to perform first aid, just a common first aid. Knowing how to perform first aid will go a long way to save lives and reduce injuries in combat. And basic first aid involves just 3 simple steps. The first step is knowing the source of the burn and eliminating the source of the burn. And the second step is uncovering the burn and dressing the wound. And the third step is reassessing the casualty and seeing whether there are other life-threatening conditions and solving and making sure you deal with it, and then you contact Medicaid or medical aid. First of all, let's look at the type of burns that exist. There are 3 major types of burns. They are chemical, electrical, and thermal. The thermal burn actually results from exposure to external source of heat. It could be flames of fire from maybe gunshots or explosives. It could be exposure to any hot metal or anything in combat. And when it comes to the electrical burns result from an exposure or a contact with an electric wire or anything. And the chemical burn actually results from an exposure to chemical. It could be liquid chemical or dry chemical. Liquid chemical could be acid or bleach, and dry chemical could be any powdered form, could be phosphorus or anything. For the purpose of this speech, I'm going to concentrate on dry chemical burn and how to deal with it, perform first aid for chemical burn. Burns could result into 3 different degrees. We have first degree burn, second degree burn, and third degree burn. With first degree burn, it's only on the surface, the surface layer of the skin. Second degree burn goes beyond the first layer of the skin, and the third degree burn goes into the tissues. As you see, we have a few pictures here for you to go through. You can go through. Now, with chemical burn, you have to know what type of burn it is. If it's a dry chemical burn, the first thing you need to do is eliminate the source of the burn. And how do you do that? If there's chemical in this area, what you do is you move the casualty from the source of the burn, from where the chemical is. And then, secondly, you have to uncover the burn and minister dressing onto the burn. Make sure the place is not filled with chemicals in the atmosphere. If there is chemical in the atmosphere, do not expose the wound. Other than that, expose the wound. Make sure if it's dry chemical, you brush it with a clean cloth, and then you apply dressing to it. So I would like to do a little demonstration on it, and then we'll move on with that. So I would like one person to volunteer, and then we'll move on. Now quickly, if you have your casualty, you reach out for your IFAC or your first aid pack, and then let's say he has the burn over here. You expose the wound, you brush off whatever chemical is there, and quickly you apply the trauma bandage. Make sure the white surface is directly on the wound, and then quickly you tie it and apply pressure on it to make sure it is tight. After you have tied the wound, make sure it's well tied on both sides so that the dressing does not fall off. And after applying the dressing, the third step is to reassess him to find out if there is any life-threatening condition. And then if there is shock, you treat for shock. And then you reach out for the medical aid for him to be evacuated. So finally, in conclusion, simple first aid involves 3 steps: knowing the source of the burn and eliminating the source of the burn, uncovering the wound and dressing it, and then also checking out for other life-threatening conditions, and then contacting health aid or any medical aid around. And after you are done with that, you are good to go. You just saved a battle body. Congratulations, and we wish you safe flight back home from combat. Thank you.